Hey YouTubers, Redderbrand here, and today's video is on fabric yo-yos. And here you're looking at some fabric yo-yos that have been sewn together with white thread, which I would never do. The backs are kind of smooth and the fronts have kind of this pull string, pucker string hole in them. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need this yo-yo maker, at least I do. Some material. I've just roughly cut them into squares that are bigger than that round yo-yo maker. I have my self-threading needle here, which makes things a whole lot easier. And also this spool of thread, and on top I have taped a needle threader that on one end has like the little thread cutter thingy, technical term, and I've taped it to the top, and a pair of scissors. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take this yo-yo maker. This is a Clover yo-yo maker, and it's in two parts. And this part has little nubs all the way around it. You can see those sticking up there. And they line up with these lines on this middle piece here. That way you can get the holes lined up. And you can see there's the lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of material and I'm going to place it on this back part of the yo-yo maker. And you can see it's a bit bigger than the maker itself. And I'm going to find one of those little nubs and I'm going to point it up at about 12 o'clock, just so I'll know where it is. And I'm going to take this insert, and that line is also going to be pointing up at about 12 o'clock. And had I not had audio difficulties, you would be able to hear this snap in when you have it lined up correctly. And this insert is actually the back. And there it just kind of snaps in. And then you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut off the excess. It doesn't have to be pretty. I usually just run my scissors along the edge, and that makes the amount left about the right size. And you're going to trim it all the way around. Frays don't matter. None of this matters because it won't be seen. So there you can see I just left a little bit, just enough to bend over. So now you can see on this other side here, I have a dot, and this is where I start and finish my threading, because I'm using white yarn with, white material with white thread. It's very hard to see, so I like that dot. So I'm going to make, for this size yo-yo maker, I'm going to make about a 2-foot thread. And I'm going to go ahead and snap this into the top of my self-threading needle. Again, this kind of needle just makes things so much easier. And some people tie the other end, knot in the other end so it doesn't come through. To me, that's just, there's no point. It's a waste of time because you can simply hold it down with your finger. So you're going to fold over the material and then stick the needle in. It goes up through the back on these little things here. It's on the right. It goes up through the first one. And you're going to pull it through, leaving about a 1.5 to 2 inch length of thread, and then hold that down. I hold it down with my middle finger and go back down through the other side. And you're going to use these two holes again. And then holding down the material in the back and also holding down the thread, you're going to come up through the next one, always coming up through the one on the right, and then back down through the one on the left, and I'm still holding onto the thread so it doesn't pull through. And I'm going to go back down. And now I'm going to come back up. And this time I'm having a little trouble finding that hole because I'm holding my hands in front of the camera, so that makes things just a little bit more difficult. It goes a lot faster doing it, not trying to show it on camera. I'm going to come up, but I'm not going to pull all the way through because I believe that yarn is safe now. That thread tail is safe now, so I can just go part way through. Be sure not to catch your thread in the middle of that, because you'll end up making a knot and it won't work. So again, I don't have to hold the thread anymore, and I can pull it through. And just one more time, showing you. Holding down the material, coming up through the right, and then back down through the left, and then pulling. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this off camera and show you how to finish it. Okay, we're back to the end here, and I go down through this last one, and then I'm going to come back up through that first one, and I'm going to try not to come up through where I had went through in the first place because it tends to tangle. So I'm going to come up through there, kind of the edge there. And then I go back down through the left side of this one, again, not tangling it. And there, we are done sewing it. So I'm going to put my needle away, and I'm going to pop out the insert, the back side. And to do that, I just stick my thumb right there in that hole and push, and there it pops out. And I'm going to pull this material off the insert, and you're going to see you have your beginning and your ending thread, which are your drawstrings, so to say. And you're going to start pulling on those, and it's going to want to curl up backwards. So just kind of push it around so it'll curl up, kind of around your thumb there. Make sure you use strong thread, because they do tend to break if it's not strong enough, because you may be pulling pretty tight depending on how big you want that hole in the middle. And then you're just going to kind of shape it, push out the edges here, and then you're going to just keep pulling it tight and straightening it, get the hole in the middle. Pull out the edges like this. Sometimes you'll have to pull out a pleat, but it tends to want to go into the proper shape. So then I pull it tight again when I have it about how I want it to look. And now I start tying, and I'm probably going to tie 3 or 4 knots. So I pull it tight because I like that hole in the middle very small. So here we go in knot 1, and I'm just going to continue, and I believe I did 4 knots. And I do it this way because I don't want the back. Some people sew it through the back to tighten it, to make it stay, and I like my back smooth because that, to me, that's part of the whatever it is you're making, like the quilt or whatever. I like the back very smooth, so I am not going to be sewing this through the back. So I make these knots to make it very tight. And then I'm going to take both pieces of thread, the starting thread and the ending thread, and excuse me, I'm going to put them together on the needle. I'm going to thread them together on the needle. And then I'm going to find where they had come out. I'm going to find the pleat close to where they come out. It doesn't have to be the same one, but close. And I can see they came out this edge. So I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to go through this kind of little ruffle, this little pleat, and go up through the edge. And I'm going to pull it through this edge, the very edge. And pull it all the way through and remove the needle. And then I'm going to pull the material down, scrunch it down so I can get to a little bit further down in the thread, and I'm going to cut that. And then go ahead and straighten it out. Now your thread is buried in the yo-yo, and it's got a nice look. It's nice and tight. It's not going to come undone, and the back is completely smooth. There's nothing sewn or knotted on the back. Now, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe.